Delegates, I just want to take a moment to just appreciate how epic this Leaders Summit is. More than 120 countries are involved in the Leaders Summit. There are 12,000 people who have registered, over 12,000 people who have registered, and this summit is going to continue for more than 20 hours. The entire summit is 26 hours long, so it is a digital deep dive. What you will see is some of the work of the UN Global Compact being highlighted. So you'll be able to see that and the networks that the UN Global Compact is involved in. This is David Young. He's one of our partners. David is brilliant. He's from BCG. Hi there, David. I'm just having a little chat. Hold on one second. I'm going to tell people what I've been looking at on the Hop-In platform, because the UN Global Compact network in Kenya, they're out there on the Hop-In platform. The UN Global Network in Malaysia and Brunei, they're out there on the global platform as well. And BCG is really important because the strategy for the UN Global Compact for 2021 to 2023, well, that strategy was helped and supported by BCG, which brings me to David. David, tell everybody your official title. Go ahead.
Hello, Femi. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. I'm Dave Young. I'm a senior partner in the Boston Consulting Group, and I lead the topic for the firm globally on total societal impact and sustainability. And I serve as a fellow at the Henderson Institute on Sustainable Business Model Innovation. And it's just a real privilege to be able to moderate this panel and learn from our 4 accomplished sustainability leaders. Please join me in welcoming Klaus Stig Pedersen, Head of Global Sustainability at Novozymes; Clara Arpa Azofra, the CEO of Arpa Equipos Mobiles de Campania; and Judy Njino, the Executive Director of Global Compact in Kenya; and Sue Allchurch, our Chief of Participant Engagement at the UN Global Compact. Now, before our panelists say more, let me set the stage by reminding us that in this decade of action, the Global Compact's strategy is to accelerate the scale and collective impact of business by upholding the 10 principles and delivering on the SDGs. And key to that is through accountable companies, where the ambition is for companies that are members of the Global Compact to strive to be among the leaders in their industries in setting bold corporate ambitions, making commitments, being transparent, and demonstrating accountability to their progress on implementing the 10 principles and contributing to the SDGs. And then collectively, including through their efforts with their supply chains, they help businesses scale impact for a better and more sustainable world. So the ingredients of accountability then are setting a bold ambition, are making commitments, are gathering and reporting progress and evidence on those commitments. And for businesses to do this, sustainability must then become an integrated part of the company's business model. And this can be very challenging. So that is why I'm excited to get wisdom from our panel. And what I'd like to do is ask each of you to briefly introduce yourself and tell us what you see are the most significant changes over the last, let's say, 3 years in the context and attention to corporate accountability and collective action for sustainability. And maybe, Clara, could we start with you, please? And I'll ask Klaus, Judy, and Sue to do the same. So, Clara?
Okay, good afternoon from Spain. It's a pleasure for me to share this panel with so honored people. Okay, when I arrived to the board in 2018, barely people have heard about sustainability and the SDGs in my environment. So what I perceive during these last 3 years, well, I think that the companies, of course, members of the Global Compact, are moving faster and further, because during these last 3 years, even the horrible 2020, our network, local network, had increased at least 10% their members during each year. That means that there are a strong commitment with sustainability, but like a business strategy. I think that what I perceive during these last 3 years as a remarkable point. So we are really feel that at least we are starting to see the tunnel. I don't know if the light behind the tunnel, but just the entrance of the tunnel. I think that we are now in that point.
Yes. Yeah, very good, Clara. Klaus, how about from your perspective at Novozymes?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the introduction, David, and for the opportunity to speak here today. So I'm Klaus, and I'm leading sustainability globally for Novozymes, which is the world leader in biosolutions for industry. So we are a biotech company. That means that we find solutions in nature and use science to find out how can they help our customers in more than 30 industries, from agriculture to food and textiles, reduce energy, water, and chemical consumption for the benefit of people and the environment at the same time. So you can say sustainability is our business. We are present in 130 countries, and we're actually among the first companies in the world to really adopt the SDGs and integrate them with our purpose strategy and business targets. And we did that in January 2015, 9 months before they were concluded. So that was an early move. And that has served us really well. And then we have been a member of the UN Global Compact Lead Group since its start. So the last 3 years, I think, has been really remarkable when you think about corporate sustainability, because we have seen an amazing power and speed of how sustainability has become mainstreamed into value chains, into supply chains, into financial, societal, and governmental actions and discussions, increased attention from consumers and governments and investors. And as a consequence, of course, corporate accountability had also evolved and had to really follow through and today take up a lot of time and is giving a lot of attention in business. And that is really good, because I think it's very, very clear that companies must really do their part to be able to track progress in a transparent and credible way. And at the end of the day, I mean, sustainability is what we all want. And I think the increased transparency and accountability make it possible for us to turn sustainability into a positive corporate competitive sport, so that we can compete for the good, how we can use the power of our companies to drive the right agendas for people in the environment. So I really think it's good. We need accountability, we need transparency, because we have to make sure that there are not too many free riders around, so that it becomes a fair competition for the good. And then that is really what I see is happening right now. And that's really what I see that the UN Global Compact is contributing very powerfully to, by enforcing the accountability agenda, by enforcing the principles and helping companies adopt and integrate that into their business processes. So thank you so much for that.
Klaus, no, congratulations to Novozymes. So that's certainly inspiring. Judy, could you give us a perspective there from Nairobi, among that large network of small, mid-sized, and national enterprises?
Yeah, thanks, Dave, and thanks a lot for the opportunity to be on this panel. And for me, as I reflect on the last 3 years, I think that it has been significant in a couple of ways. One, of course, we've seen that the world has been on a verge of a climate crisis. We've seen rising inequalities. We've seen racial injustice and increasing stakeholder activism. And then, of course, the pandemic happened. These challenges and their accompanying impacts have significantly slowed down our progress to deliver on the SDGs by 2030. But they've also exposed what we've all along known, that our social, economic, and governance models need rethinking if at all we are going to deliver on the ambitious actions for the SDGs by the year 2030. In my view, the pandemic particularly presents to us a litmus test of the challenges ahead and what we need to really do to set us back on the right path to progress. Businesses traditionally, we know, have been at the forefront of providing solutions to some of the challenges that we currently face. And with the pandemic, they really stepped up in a good way to provide solutions to some of the challenges and helping us really to lessen the impacts of the pandemic. And I think this growing, reliance on the private sector to provide solutions to societal challenges has also led to a rise in consciousness amongst businesses and deepened the understanding of their role within society. And we also see, accompanied to this, that there's greater demand from governments, from citizens, that private sector must play a more greater and more central role in providing solutions to some of these challenges. So obviously business can no longer be a silent, passive actor. And especially when we are seeing the world falling apart right in front of our eyes. So the last 3 years for me really have challenged us on the importance also of solidarity and how businesses can come together with governments, with civil society in helping us address these challenges as presented by the SDGs. And I think really it has confirmed that our human chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So we need to come together and work in solidarity to help us move forward on a common path where we will all be able to live a better life. Thank you, Dave.
No, thank you for that, Judy. Sue, you connect with many companies in your role at the UN Global Compact, and maybe you could offer both that look at the last 3 years and what you've seen, but also, if you could, you've been reviewing the latest data on how companies are progressing on their sustainability efforts. The data gathered from the Global Compact's annual implementation survey and the CEO survey that we heard about earlier today. Maybe tell us what you've seen and also what the data is telling us now.
Yeah, thank you very much, David. I'll be happy to explain some of that. I mean, it's obviously part of my role to really understand trends and what CEOs and what companies want help with and what are their barriers. And to your question on accountability, there is definitely some significant movement. It's always been a high area. Reporting has been quite significant, but we're definitely seeing a significant change in the percentage of CEOs wanting to be able to show authentic, measurable progress on the work that's being made, the work that's being done, and increasing awareness of the demands from the public, customers and consumers in particular, and also in the investor community in terms of demanding genuine, authentic progress being tracked.
Yeah. And Klaus, I'd like to come back to something you said earlier. Novozymes was right there at the beginning. You even made commitments to the SDGs before they were formally out there. And you've certainly been received a lot of recognition for the quality of the sustainability performance that you've been generating. You've been quoted a lot about the link between performing well on sustainability and also having good business performance. Can you talk more about how a focus on accountability and progress on sustainability goals actually helps contribute to your overall business performance and how your stakeholders and share owners respond to that?
Sure. So we don't do sustainability integration in Novozymes. We have made sustainability our purpose, and as a consequence, we try to weave sustainability into every aspect and every corner of the business, from sourcing and innovation to business development, and it's included in the remuneration programs from top management to the employees. So it's just in everywhere. But at the end of the day, I mean, Novozymes is just like any other business, and it means that we also have to be accountable to our investors and to our shareholders, and our success, of course, depend on the success of our customers. So in that way, we are like any other company. But increasingly, we have experienced and very much accelerated with the SDGs in 2015 that the questions that we have received from the financial stakeholders has really accelerated and increased very, very much. And also, we get a lot of requests from our customers that increasingly wants us to help them become more successful in a marketplace that increasingly focus on sustainability. So in that way, the sustainability agenda really connects to how we engage with our customers. And so we don't sell enzymes and microbes anymore. It's our business to find out how can we help our customers be successful in the marketplace using sustainability and sustainability agenda and drivers as a way to navigate and understand what to prioritize and what to deprioritize and how to move forward in the right path. It's been a transformative couple of years for us, and we hope it's only just the beginning. We hope that what we are seeing now is the start of a much more powerful integration of the sustainability agenda into the mainstream economy, so that what we consider the right products and the right business behavior also becomes the most profitable business behavior, because that is what really needs to happen for this to be fully implemented and fully as we would all like to see it. So I think, and to be able to work with all these things, we really need to be accountable, and we really need to report on a lot of progress, and that is of course a lot of work. But I think it's absolutely clear that we have learned so much in the process. We have learned so much about ourselves. We learned so much about our business processes that we have been able to turn into benefits in our operations and into benefits that we can put forward to our customers. So.
And so it sounds like for you, really, reporting on sustainability is reporting on the business, and reporting on the business is reporting on sustainability. And for your customers, that's part of the value proposition in engaging with a company like you. But Clara, as CEO of ARPA, could you also maybe build on Klaus's comments and tell us how the ambition for sustainability and demonstrating progress on your goals and commitments have helped the business perform and grow?
No, sure. Well, I think that we have emphasized our way of how we do our business. That means that we have launched a new line. That means is ARPA change, ARPA transition into sustainability. That means that we have we have designed our own plan to decarbonize our industry. We also have so much research and develop in our own facilities in order to show that for a SME like us, it's possible to do things and to do change and to do it further and faster. Okay, so we have, for example, a little micro generation of hydronic green hydrogen for our own equipment, our own trolleys inside our factory. Also, we have a program to not leave no one behind. That means that we are training continuously our people, our workers. Just first, what means sustainability? Why is important that in the companies, in the small, medium, and big companies, all this staff know about, and the word of sustainability seems very familiar for all of them. That means that they are inside the change, not only the company, also the people who is working in that company, okay? So that is the way, a new way of doing business inside your own company. It's nothing that it's come from outside. It's something that really comes inside. And they feel really part of this change, even is a small company as us, our company.
And I think for both of your companies, you've stretched and reached into your supply base, working with other small and mid-sized enterprises as they also are contributing to your own sustainability agenda. And the SMEs are the majority of the world's companies. So you quoted some very interesting data to me once about the challenge for SMEs and how businesses are now thinking about their supply chains. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, in fact, What's interesting is this biggest barrier and most difficult area of sustainability for large companies with revenue over $1 billion, is extending their sustainability practices across the supply chain. It has always been, and it's growing, and it is just the hardest thing for them to do. And actually, so 55% of CEOs say that's my number one barrier. It's the hardest thing. And actually, it's become even more important because 50% of CEOs are saying that globally supply chain sustainability has become more important because of the pandemic. And so what we find is, when asked, all companies, what are the most important things you would like the Global Compact to be working on? 76% of them say helping us translate sustainability initiatives right across the supply chain and across operations. It is the most difficult thing. And so hence we will be having the SME initiative, and we will endeavor to put in programs and initiatives that run across the supply chain. And of course, this will be really helpful to be able to report and show transparently the progress that we make against some of those value chain goals.
Yeah. And so, Judy, I'd like to turn to you, as you know the SMEs well, given your role in leading the Global Compact network in Kenya, and you have some 250 companies. What are you seeing as the opportunities and the challenges for SMEs in setting ambition, demonstrating accountability, integrating into supply chains in the way that Sue's talking about? Could you tell us a little bit about that and what other companies can do to help SMEs in their journey to sustainability?
Yes, thanks, Dave. And I have to say, I'm really excited about our new strategy because, it's turned the lens back to the SMEs as an important sector for us at the Global Compact to ensure that the growth of our economies is sustainable and is inclusive. I think, as we all know, SMEs, form the bulk of our economies. They are the drivers of, employment creation across many of our countries. And at the Global Compact, they also form the bulk of our membership. I think about 65% of our companies are SMEs. If I come back home here to Kenya, 80% of the working population is actually employed by the SMEs. So essentially, they are contributing to the sustainable development goals and to the economy of a lot of these countries. But at the same time, when you look at the agenda of sustainability, many of them perceive it as something that is a preserve of the larger companies. And I think this actually comes from a misconception that sustainability is all about philanthropy and charity. And I think I've seen that quite a bit in the East Africa region, where we are having the concept of sustainability, gradually evolving, and they're beginning to understand what it really means in terms of the concept and the practical application. And so when you have this limited or narrow view, what happens is that they think that we don't have the funds to give out. And so that limits their ability to engage. And so the work of the local networks across the globe have been really critical in demystifying what sustainability is all about and how SMEs and businesses across board can take action. I think what we are finding exciting also is that the larger companies who have the bulk of these small business enterprises in their supply chain, that they're also willing to take them on board to support them, to basically meet the standards that they are looking for. We've talked about supply chain sustainability being, an increasing area of interest across the globe. So a lot of these companies are stepping up and are holding the hands of these SMEs and helping them to meet their standards, even as they're doing business. And I think this is an opportunity for us to scale up across board in how we can, create a level playing field where all these businesses can be able to to grow, to become competitive, but they're competing based on values and not just on the traditional aspects of, you can provide a product and service at the lowest price possible. And I think critically going forward, we will need an enabling policy environment and an ecosystem that supports widespread change across the board. And so this will be able to help us get as many SMEs, playing by their rules And so in addition to what the larger corporates are doing, I think governments and other stakeholders have also a critical role to play. So we look forward to the processes ahead and seeing how we can support them going forward.
No, thank you very much for that, Judy. I realize our time is almost up, and I think we could probably keep going on this topic of how to create greater corporate accountability and the benefits of doing so. But maybe as we begin to wrap up, I would like to ask each of you for a final quick word of encouragement to companies, big or small, on the journey to sustainability and demonstrating commitment to the 10 principles in the SDGs. Just 30 seconds each, if you could. Please, let me start, Clara, with you.
Well, I think for us it's very important to be supported by others, business organizations in an alliance, because I think that through this type of organization, SMEs has support and has how to learn, to introduce and to deep inside the sustainability.
Yeah, very good. And Judy, any word of encouragement to anybody on this journey?
Absolutely. The 10 principles and the SDGs really provide an excellent framework to get started and to really take ambitious action. And the Global Compact and its local networks at the country level are your support system. So for any company that's out there on the call, really encourage you to plug in to the local networks wherever they are available within a global movement. So we welcome and look forward to working with you in this journey. Thank you.
And Klaus, is a sustainability champion of a company, encouragement to others?
Yeah. Yes. So accountability and responsibility and reporting is key to success with this journey. But it's certainly also about opportunity because business is successful when it meets the needs of people. And think about what are the biggest needs of the entire global population. I mean, that is sustainability and the SDGs. So that makes it the biggest business opportunity ever. So for business, it's about finding out how can we solve environmental and social problems with a business model, and then we will all be happy. And it's possible, thanks to global.
Very good. And Sue, a final word.
Yeah, so I would just say, building on Klaus's point, it is definitely a business opportunity. And, we see that 73% of CEOs who studied this year, they recognize that there will be, in the next 3 to 5 years, more and more demand for solid, rigorous reporting from customers and consumers. 73%. 2 years ago, that was 50%. That's a massive change. And the other area that's changed is investors. They've gone from 18% of CEOs recognize that, now it's 30%. So there's a real change. And what we're committed to do is to make sure that our new reporting platform tracks indeed the activity that takes place with the Global Compact. So for instance, on the gender initiative, we've seen 80% of companies who came on target gender equality setting new goals, setting higher projects. That will be tracked in the COP, that will be transparent on everyone to see, and that will inspire other companies. So the tracking is great for communication to stakeholders like consumers or investors, but it's great to inspire others because it shows what can be done.
So we can all be part of this journey, no matter where we're starting from. And UN Global Compact brings us the resources, the connection, the lessons, the experience from companies like those that have joined us today for greater achievement as we go forward. Thank you very much to the panel for sharing your thoughts and your wisdom on all of this. And thank you to the audience for attending our discussion today on accountability toward collective impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David.